Thank you. I'm happy to be here. I'm 73 and I haven't done an extemporaneous speech for a long time. So when you get an old folk up here in front of a mic, you better be careful because short-term memory shot. And as I was sitting here, you know how you just go back and my military, it's somewhere in one of my memory sets, but I do remember coming here for Mass for a long time. This used to be the church that served the Naval Hospital here. So, and then there was a tennis court in the back, and we attempted to learn there, but we just decided how bourgeois can you get in trying to learn tennis, you know, so that was in the late 50s, you know, so, but we tried. I want to thank Liz. I just thought maybe when I met Liz at your Christmas party that we were just going to have some sea stories at our dinner table. I didn't realize it. But I think the fact that we shared our experiences at her age and then at my age, and this wonderful organization that most of us forget, but essentially it's an organization, the United States Navy, that brought a very, very powerful period of socializing, maturing from an all-Indian milieu on a reservation to being thrown with just about every other group when you join the Navy, and that was probably a culture shock for many of us, and at the same time, it was the beginning of a real life in this country. And what I recall is that there was a Cherokee woman in my company, and I couldn't believe, here's this, we were all homesick, this is where lifelong friendships begin, and this young woman, we were 18, blue-eyed lady from North Carolina who I was Cherokee, but I'll never forget was when she started speaking in that beautiful, rolling, I never heard before, a Southern accent, you know, and that's how I remember this woman. The one thing that Liz and I shared at that dinner was that somehow we were, I think because we loved the game, and that was all we knew in South Dakota was basketball, you know, so there were teams, you know, through high school, there were good players, there were us mediocre ones, but we just kind of filled space, you know, but it's also brought a sense of teamwork, cooperation, and so we talked, and Liz said, I was just so amazed, and that she got this far as a female basketball player in the United States Navy, and the experience and the travels that she'd done. And then it brought back, you know, that we formed a basketball team here. I was a core wave here, and then I took, somebody recommended that we take a women's officer qualification exam, and I still think we were tokens, but my husband said, well, just, you know, maybe they thought you were smart. He said, whatever, but I was a Native American, and Caroline Rainbow, I'm remembering these names, was a black core wave from South Carolina, and Jeannie Carter was from Jacksonville, Florida, another one with a Southern accent, and then fine. So we took this women's officer qualification exam, and the rest was history. They sent us off to school, and I think it probably, among other things, improved our self-concept, confidence, and to learn to enjoy school. So that was the experience, but they were happy experiences. We had softball team here, and then we joined, the Navy nurses and the Corps Waves joined together because that's who we were here. And we thought we were pretty good. And we joined these city leagues, you know, and until we met the Lady Marines from Camp Pendleton. And they even scared us coming at us, bouncing that ball, you know. I said, Mama, let me get up. And of course they skunked us, you know, but they were really good. So that was part of my experience. And so then later on I joined public health service with Indian Health Service, and there again we formed a basketball team and joined the leagues in Washington, D.C. and the Maryland area, all Indian women, a little bit older. So one of the nice things is I'm a proud mother of Rob sitting in the audience, and I try to keep up with NBA, the latest stuff, because then I'll have something to talk about with Rob, sort of halfway decently, you know. But I think he also knows that I love the game. I'll just finish. The word certification just kept coming up, you know, and Gwen has been a mentor to me for a long time. We were both, I was a student and a professor through Gwen's mentorship, encouragement at San Diego State University when American Indian Studies were first starting, and I was a nursing major, but when I got there is when the 60s started, and now that we think back, that was when our activism started. That's when we really got into Black studies, Latino studies, American Indian studies, and hey, look, you know, it just opened up a whole world. And so, and Hank was EOP at San Diego State University, and again, it was another notch in our development in how a person ought to live. And it was a proud period, and it still is. Our department chairman was a Lakota Santee named John Willard. And they used to call San Diego State a boot camp for American Indians, you know, that wanted to get on. So it was a new experience for higher ed at that point, and then from then on. And we didn't know we were making history. In hindsight, that's what happened. So thank you, Glenn. So certification then, that word became so important. Even, how long did it take us to get that American Indian Studies to become recognized, you know, at San Diego State University? Only 3 years ago, I think it finally became a department. And Hank used to get so mad because he was, damn, they still call it a program. And so I just think I need to share that these are milestones for Native Americans. And we were in there, and we were veterans. And I think because of our experience as veterans, we didn't realize we were assertive, okay? Well, Hank was assertive. He was a diplomat. He knew how to talk nice to people that got things that way, you know. I was a table-pounding kind of and I didn't get half as much as he did, but I finally learned that I should probably speak with a ladylike voice and maybe someone would listen to me. So certification began with trying to get our American Indian Studies going, and it is now. I'm happy to tell you San Diego State University has a bona fide American Indian Studies department. And it's a feeder school to places like UCLA that has a master's in American Indian Studies department. And the reason I'm mentioning this is because we came to college with one hand tied behind our back. We came as Native Americans with our indigenous knowledge conspicuous by its absence through all of that curriculum. It was entirely Western. And so part of our philosophy today, Our most recent project is a tribally controlled community college in East County. And by golly, it's going to be a balanced curriculum with indigenous and Western knowledge, because our students deserve it. We deserve it as parents. It is our heritage. It just is, and we fought for this. We worked for this. I was a Navy Hospital Corps instructor for a long time. We earned this, but beyond that, it didn't have to be earned. We came with it under sovereignty, our indigenous knowledge. And so that's kind of activism, I guess, that we didn't know we were doing. We were just working. So I'll find, there's so much to share, but just know that I appreciate Liz remembering me, and also for me to get a better handle on the Chamber of Commerce. So what the heck? You see, because when you're Native, we're so busy writing proposals for the entire tribe, for entire Indian regions under bilingual ed or whatever. That's the collective side that really gets strong. So this individual side sort of gets kind of pushed under a little bit. And there again, there needs to be a balance. So I'm happy to say that through the dynamics of my own family, this is probably our final project as a family. We decided to use the Sequan land that we live on for a vineyard, and maybe down the road, hopefully then there'll be a winery. But we're learning some new stuff. And you're gonna have Chardonnay, Cab, mixes, and no more green lizard. If you're Native, you'll know what I mean. Okay. So certification has always been important. Again, from the collective side, I'm very proud to be a part of American Indian Studies at San Diego State University. But before that, I was here. And I don't keep track, but the Marine in my household does. So he told me I have like 11 point something years in the Navy, active and reserve. And someone should have advised me to just finish those last few years, and I could have gone to a shop at the naval station or something. So certification, that was done. Everything is, we gotta have a certification. So teachers need a certification, psychologists need a certification. So that's part of our growth, I guess, as females who sometimes, and a lot of time, we hit the glass ceiling. In your career move as working females, professional females, smart females, brilliant females, who sacrifice time to get those degrees, and I can say, because I'm surrounded by fellow Natives, that we still earn something like 70 cents to $1 in this country, no matter how much education we have. So we still, in those areas, we have something to look forward to if you want to challenge. You know, we call it a glass ceiling. And, but I'm really proud of Liz, and I know that we figured out how to go around those glass ceilings, you know. And I think I should also mention that I am a proud U.S. Navy Hospital Corps veteran, and I have a lot of relatives that are veterans. I'm also proud to be a member of the Oglala Sioux tribe. And from that, I'm proud to be the one that kicked Custer's butt. So this is where the indigenous knowledge comes in. Don't be ashamed of the successes that we had as tribes, that we stood up for ourselves. They were taking our land. What could you do? And I'm also proud to have relatives, male and female, with the American Indian movement at Wounded Knee. I'm proud to have medicine people who started the collective healing for the second Wounded Knee, when it took us 100 years to finally get our grief together for intergenerational survivors of trauma. So this is part of my background as one veteran, and I embrace all of it. And I just never thought I'd say that in front of a group at the Navy Hospital. So anyway, so how's that for a 73-year-old extemporaneous speech? Thank you very much for your attention.